Hello, beautiful. We are almost at the finish line of 2025. And I hope that wherever you are, you're having a lovely, lovely time and that you're enjoying this reset energy that typically comes from the festive season. In this video, I want to share three questions with you. And these are three questions that are really just reflection questions. I'm a big, big believer in the power of reflection. There are so many things that happens for us as we go through life. But typically what we do as human beings is we just pick up and we carry on. And we don't really discover the meaning and the lessons and the value of what has been um, offered to us through our experiences, be they good or be they difficult, challenging experiences. They all teach us something, they all give us something. And typically we miss out on that because we just keep on keeping on. And so I'm inviting you to take these three questions and to toy with them. Don't make work out of them and don't use them as instruments with which to judge yourself. They're just invitations to have a conversation with yourself. It doesn't have to be deep, difficult conversations. They can be light-hearted conversations. These are three questions you can take with you on a walk. They can be what you chew on in between activities as you enjoy yourself. And they can be done now, they can be done later on, they can be done at any point in time. The reason why I believe it's so important for us to pause and to ask ourselves questions such as these and to take time to reflect is because we don't really appreciate the opportunity and the fragility of beginnings and of endings. So as we sit at the ending of this year and we enter into the new year, we might be sitting with it, each and every single one of us, with very, very different energy. For some of us, we are just so glad that this year's over and we just want it to stop. We want it to end and we want to leave it behind us. We want to escape it. And for others, it is, it's neither here nor there. We don't really know what we're taking with us into the new year. We don't know what momentum has been built up in this year because we haven't necessarily thought about it. And we don't have a perspective on whether or not we want that momentum to carry out into the new year or whether we want to pivot it and reshape it and rework it so that it serves us better, we gain more from it, or we teach ourselves, we train ourselves to end it. And so the three questions is really just aimed for us to think about things, to pay attention to our experience as human beings, and to help us to discover something about us that may have missed our attention completely, that might be of incredible value as we move forward. Reflection and conversation is so important. And so this is an opportunity for us to have reflection in conversation with ourselves. And one of the things that I always share with people is that conversation is a lubricant. It allows things to move forward. Good conversation helps us to move forward. Good conversation is a lubricant. And so as you go through these questions, I really, really, really want to offer that these are not instruments with which to bully yourself, to judge yourself. They're just instruments with which to become aware, to come to choice, and maybe to start understanding the motivations that drives your behavior on a day-to-day basis. So question one is, what was good about this year that is 2025? What was delightful? What was pleasant? What was exciting? What was just completely energizing and revitalizing? So frequently, we are preoccupied with the difficult things, the challenges, the things that we complain about, the things that we vent about, and we miss completely that amazing things have happened. I want to really offer you to spend some time thinking about this. Use your phone, your calendar, your camera roll, whatever it is that you capture things on. And that is a memory of what you've been going through and what you've been living through and what you've been experiencing. And look for the moments of delight. Look for the moments of lightheartedness. Look for the moments of play. Look for the moments of pleasure. Look for the moments of expansion and growth. It doesn't have to be big things. It might be something simple. It could be, I had a routine in which I washed my face and did my face treatments every single evening, or for most evenings this year. One of the big delights for me is that I gave myself a challenge somewhere along the year to cook for 10 days with no spice other than salt, pepper, garlic, and chili. It was a stretch for me and I enjoyed it. I loved what I learned from it. So it doesn't have to be big, magnificent things. It can be small things, things that brought you pleasure, things that brought you delight, things that brought a little bit of a squeal to your heart and to your soul. So that's question number one. And this question is really important because it really helps us to build capacity within ourselves about this idea that, this world is not only happening to us and coming at us, it's also happening for us, right? The second question I want to offer is, what are the things that you've survived? What are the things that you've had to overcome? What are the things where you've really had to stretch yourself so that you could deal with it, overcome it, and move past it? It doesn't have to be something that is completed, it can still be in motion, but you're becoming aware and you're counting the experiences in which you've survived. You've really found your personal power in these moments. You've had to access your own courage, your bravery, your own humanity. And what we very frequently do, especially around these types of experiences, is that we just survive it and we get on with it and we reach conclusions that are not interrogated conclusions. We think about how hard things are without recognizing how much we develop, how much we expand, how much we grow, how much we are able to evolve as human beings because of the experiences that we have. Think about these experiences in your work context. Think about these experiences in your personal context, in all the different contexts, all the different relationships that you have, all the different things that you've pursued and undertaken. What are those experiences where you really had to be brave, found your courage, said your no when you would otherwise say yes? You know, um, these are really, really important experiences for us to anchor, to pay attention to really notice that as much as life is happening, we're showing up for it in the biggest and the best versions of ourselves. The final question that I want to offer is, what are the things that have been hard? What are the things that have been difficult? Where perhaps you've not triumphed, you've not overcome. You could think of these experiences potentially as mistakes, disappointments, things that didn't go quite the way you wanted it, and you were not quite the version of yourself where you feel proud of it. This is potentially one of the most important questions for you to contemplate out of the three questions. So frequently, what we do is we only notice the mistake, the disappointment, but we don't necessarily notice what is lying underneath it. And the invitation here is to really explore what it is that happened for you as a human being. What were you feeling? What were you experiencing? What were the thoughts and what were the ideas? What are the concepts of yourself that you had in these experiences? What are the ways in which you saw yourself shrink? What are the ways in which you saw yourself recoil from your own shame? The reason why I say this is potentially one of the most important questions is because this experience that we have is about, or this question is about uncovering the emotional or the internal experience underneath what we would typically call the mistake or the disappointment. What is it that holds us back from overcoming? What is it that holds us from expanding and moving beyond the thing that is challenging us? Typically, in these experiences, when we really, really sit with them, we discover many, many truths. Truths that we actually require a fair amount of courage and a fair amount of vulnerability to sit with. And it is in these truths that we might meet our limiting beliefs. It is in these truths that we might meet our shame and the way in which we resist our own humanity and the ways in which we resist our own vulnerability. You don't have to do anything with this information. This is the magic of conversation. Conversation has this energetic capacity, this energetic capability of transforming things, even though we don't necessarily do anything. Once it is witnessed, once it is seen, these experiences that we become aware of, these internal experiences, these subterranean experiences, the moment we become aware of it, and they are seen, and they are not judged, and they are held with compassion and healthy regard, they morph into something different, something more malleable, something that um, alerts us to what is needed within us. And so I really just want to leave you with these three questions and to share with you this idea that whatever goals you have for the future, there's an energetic uh, momentum that is inside of you already. Whatever goals that you have, do the things that you discover through these questions or any reflection that you have, does it allow that momentum to support you, or is that momentum going to be destructive to what those goals are? If you have any thoughts about this, if you have any questions about this, I really welcome you to connect with me. You can connect with me here or on email or on WhatsApp. But I'd love to hear what your reflections are and to see how this reflection, or any reflection that you do for that matter, allows you to make new decisions, not just about what you are going to do as the new year unfolds, but who you choose to become, what your new I am stories will be. So I'll see you in the new year. I wish you safety, I wish you joy, and I wish you good celebrations as you welcome the new year. Bye.